Merry Christmas. Yeah, today's WarnerCember is Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. Yeah, it feels weird that this is our today's WarnerCember on Christmas Day. But hey, got the DVD on Christmas today, so why not? And this is my last Terminator film to review in 2024, which is kind of awesome. And this film is the third film, the actual third film before Dark Fate came out, where a new Terminator named TX is programmed to kill not John Connor, but also Captain Brewster and the other lieutenants that are like young adults, right as that get murdered. And while she tried to find John Connor and found Captain Brewster, a new Terminator, again played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, came to save the day, and he is trying to protect them from the TX. And they also go to a military service led by Robert Brewster, or they need to stop Skynet and a nuclear attack from happening once and for all. And this movie has been considered as the film that started the decline of the franchise. And I can see that the Terminator 2 was a perfect movie and a perfect ending, and they feel like a two and done story, the Terminator 1 and 2. But hey, that film made a lot of money, so they wanted to continue it. And I think this film is decent. It has a lot of fun action sequences throughout the film. I love every single one of them. Specifically, the truck motorcycle chase at the beginning. That was a very awesome action sequence. I thought that was a very action heavy. I saw a lot of great soundtrack in the scene, and a great and awesome destruction, and uh visually it looks really good. The film does look cool, honestly. It looks decent. Um as well as the fight scenes at the at the at the at the military place, where Terminator uses a machine gun from one of the machines to kill another machine. I thought that was a very awesome and clever scene. And also when Terminator fights the TX, to which the Terminator loses to it and gets corrupted to the point where he tried to kill John Connor, but fought his program corruption by destroying a car and stop TX with a really silly one liner. This movie infamously has some comedic moments, like when Arnold puts on some sparkly sunglasses that he tried but hated it. That kind of became a kind of a infamous scene for being a little bit too goofy. But hey, I it was just the one scene, and there was another thing called where is talk to the hand, where it started out when the Terminator arrived to the past or the present, where he goes to a club where he finds a dancer with a black jacket and black leather, and Terminator tries to say, "Give me your clothes," and the guy says, "Talk to the hand." And then later, he goes to a goes to a goes to a grocery store, and he and when the guy at the store says, "Hey, are you gonna pay for that?" Terminator just says, "Talk to the hand," which I'm not gonna lie, did get a laugh out of me. I thought it was a funny scene. And I did like how Terminator has a little bit of a bit of a sense of humor a little bit. Not as much as in Dark Fate, but some of it. I thought Arnold still got it. As he still has the acting abilities, and I still think he still does a fantastic job in the role. This was like his last movie before he became the governor of California. So it's interesting that this was his end before his election. Um, I thought Nick Stahl as John Connor, while kind of miscast, I thought he did the best he could do. He is alright. He's not Edward Furlong, of course, but he try to be a more mature John Connor. Um, but I thought he was okay. I did appreciate him being the narrator. I thought he did a decent narration. And he did some okay scenes with Catherine Brewster, who in this movie is set up as the spouse of John Connor. Yet we don't see a sequence of them in the future together, which I feel like they should have done that to give us an idea of what they're like in the future. But no, they don't do that. And Salvation, they don't do that either, unfortunately. Though they're still husband and wife in that movie. But they were trying to set it up, have in the third act, especially in the facility, and at the end they hold hands, which says up the relationship starting. Um, and I thought Brewster was an okay character, I guess. Claire Dance was decent in the role. And TX is the main antagonist of this movie, and I thought the idea of a female Terminator was kind of a clever and new idea, and but I feel like she's kind of like the weak out of Terminators, though not the worst one. That answers belong to 3000, the John Connor one from Genesis. That was a really silly and dumb idea. But the reason for that is because most of her kills are off screen, except for when she was in Scott Disguise, where she killed two people at the car, and they was disturbing one, but everything else is off screen, which is kind of sad, kind of dumb, because it would show her menace threat as a threat, especially when she has her arm is like a weapon, but they don't show her kill anyone with that on screen. He kills Scott with it, but not on screen, only off screen, unfortunately. Um, I did kind of laugh at when she reacted to John Connor's blood at the doc at the at the vet, where she tastes the blood of John Connor and she goes like she's like in shock that John Connor's here. That's honestly that gave me a laugh out of me. Yeah, I think Kristanna Loken did give a try to give a menacing performance, but she was alright in this movie. Um, and I thought overall the film it had great action sequences, but it's no surprise to say that this was the weakest start, the start of the decline of the Terminator franchise. It's not bad, but it's okay. It's okay at best. And I can watch it anytime soon. But overall, it doesn't have the magic of the first two. And it feels like a rehash of Terminator 2. A lot of time, there's a lot of moments in this movie that are reminiscent of that movie. And yeah, it really does feel like a Terminator 2 rehash. And overall, better than Genesis though. Better than Genesis. And what are you guys' thoughts on the movie? Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on it. Peace out. Bye. Also, does anyone find interesting that the "I'll be back" line is changed because because Terminator never says "I'll be back," but he says "she'll be back" when he shoots the TX after shooting Robert Brewster, and then later when Terminator comes back to stop TX and help John and Kate stop the attacks, he says, "I'm back." I found it interesting that "I'll be back" is not in the movie officially. And it has Hasta Vista Baby in this movie for a bit, for one scene. Which is found interesting because the other movies didn't have the Hasta Vista thing, which I found it to be fascinating. But that's about it. See